This is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and coming to my channel and letting me read for you. We are doing a reading today for what is the fate of this connection. So this will very likely be a reading about love and relationships, but it could go in another way too, just depending on the direction of your pile. We have 4 crystal cards here. I'm going to zoom in on them a little bit so you can see them closer up. I'd have to turn each card over to tell you what the stone is, but really just look at these stones, get a feel for it. I kind of made them hard to pick from, but they're all stunning and beautiful, and whichever jumps out at you, this is your pile, and this reading is going to be for you based on that. So please, I'm going to zoom back out. Please make your selection and visit the timestamps below, and this will be your reading for what is the fate of this connection. So thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you in a minute. Goodbye. So much for being at my channel and letting me read for you. This is Light and Bone Tarot, and we are doing a reading for what is the fate of this connection. To kind of kick off this reading and give it a little bit of a direction, I picked from this oracle deck called the Untamed Element, and this is the Star card. It is represented by ether, and it is okay, well, I'll talk about that in a second. I'm just going to say, firstly, this is Azurite. This is your beautiful card, your beautiful blue cluster. And this is your pile 1. We are going to get into your reading. And star, okay, back to star. This is, I'm not going to say you're lacking direction, but I feel like there's something in your relationship right now that is, like maybe you feel there's something overwhelming, like your natural sense of what is right, what is wrong, what feels right, what serves you, what doesn't. Like, I feel like there's this confusion there. There might be something to tell me that you just feel a little lost. You feel without that internal kind of compass that helps guide you, or maybe you're overwhelmed and you're feeling completely out of whack and it's having an effect on your relationship. But we're going to find out the fate of this connection, and somehow this star card will just play into it somehow. But let's give this a shot and see the fate of this connection. So I want to see your connection in 3 cards to start, and we will go from there. So we've got the 6 of Wands, or Swords, pardon me, I do that every time. The 5 of Pentacles, and the Page of Swords. Okay, the 6 of Swords I like. This is a card of like happy transitions. This is basically going to like a better temperature, a better climate, better waters, better, and I don't mean that in all like on a vacation, you're going to want those things. I mean, in life, like you're going to a state, just more homeostasis, more balance, more pleasure, more everything. But it requires a change to get there. The 5 of Pentacles is, this card denotes something, this card looks kind of warm and fuzzy, but actually the 5 of Pentacles is a card of almost like lack. Maybe the resources you want are right in front of you, you're just not using them. Maybe you don't see them. Maybe you've expunged them all and they haven't quite replenished themselves yet. There's something to make me think that you need some things. There are things you're going without right now, and these could be love, the basics, the foundation of a relationship. Like something is missing. However, there is something in this card that does imply that what's missing might not have to do with your person. Your person might actually be there providing all the goodness, but maybe like there's a financial piece that's missing. Maybe there's this one part about like logistics that you guys can't quite like nail down or agree on or like hammer out in one way. There's just, which could imply like maybe you guys are talking about a move. Maybe you're trying to figure out like what your next step is. But okay, and the Page of Swords, all in all, I will say this is a card of action. It's a card of messages. It's a card of change, some kind of inspiring change. There's an inspiration here. There is a feeling of like a creative energy that's coming to you, yeah, in the form of a message or change. And anyway, we'll work on that a little. But taking the Star card, taking these 3 cards, I feel like in your dynamic with this person, either you guys are talking about a move, you're talking about something that would kind of upset the foundation of this relationship. And I think it's something that one of you wants more than the other. Like, for instance, it might be a new job that would pull your relationship or the location of it in a different direction. Or like, I just feel like the focus somehow that's always been present and kind of balanced is about to really shift. And the Star card, this is a card of like, oh my gosh, I'm so out of breath. I don't know why this happens sometimes when I start reading. This is a card of like intuition, a guidance that, and when I say inner compass, I don't necessarily mean always moral. I mean like just knowing your place, knowing where you are, knowing what you want, knowing if like this, if what's happening truly feels good. I just feel like you've kind of lost that state of like self-discernment. Where are you where you want to be because you got here? Like, are you doing what you're doing because it just is what you're doing? Like, are you in this relationship because you've just been in it for 1 or 2 years and now things are happening? Or is it really where you want to be? And I think I see in these cards that you are trying to push for something a little bit more or a little bit extra, something different, and something that I think actually kind of enlivens and excites you. And I don't know if your partner sees it that same way. It might actually be something that could bring stress to your partner, or they're giving like a little pushback, or there's a little stress about it. But there is something that I think would benefit you in this dynamic, and your partner's probably going to have to get on board with it, or just get excited about it. There's something to make me think that maybe they've been driving a certain part of this relationship that has made you take a step back, or you've kind of waited for it to be your turn to say, here's what I want to focus on. Here's where I want us to live. Here's where I want our resources to go towards. Like, and I feel like now it's your time, and your partner really has to embrace that. And it's not to say they won't, but right now I think there's this kind of state of limbo where it's just not totally evident if they're going to kind of support you in the way that you need. And this could have just come on. You could have just gotten this promotion. Somehow this message or this opportunity came to you. Or even like maybe it could have been a form of abundance. Maybe you came into some money, or I don't know, like a settlement or an inheritance, and it's now giving you the means to do something differently. And maybe your partner's a little bit jealous or resentful, just something. There's going to be a change that really, really benefits you. And it could absolutely benefit this person that you're with, but it's something you really want. And you have to figure out what's the most important to you right now. Is it keeping this relationship totally intact and possibly stagnant, or is it going with this new direction, this new excitement, this new source of energy, and kind of like just excitement? I feel like there's this exciting thing that is more exciting for you at the moment, but that might not always be the case. So let me get 3 more cards. I'm going to ask directly, what is the fate of this connection, just to see what the fate of the connection is. We've got the 4 of Cups, 6 of Wands, and we've got the 6 of Cups. So I always like when the same numbers come up somehow. There's something, I don't know, pleasing about it. 4 of Cups, I would say in a word, it could be apathy. It could be kind of this contemplation, but this contemplation that almost is brought on from a sense of, I don't know, boredom or lack, or just unenthusement about, or a lack of enthusement about what is happening in your life. And I really think that there was this part of you that's been kind of stagnant. Like, let's say maybe your star hasn't been shining as bright. Maybe the focus has been on someone else, or someone else's needs or wants or accomplishments, but you've kind of been maybe in the background, and you do have an opportunity now to step forward. And I think that will be an interesting kind of question for this dynamic. Like, does your partner or your person, do they get on board with this and support you in the way that you've supported them? Do they return that? Do they give you everything you've given to them and more? Like, where is this going? But I think whether or not I have an answer for the actual fate of the connection, I feel like this is definitely you addressing this, like you making your needs, your this just new higher vibration that you find yourself in, you bringing this to the forefront is exactly what needs to happen. Like this is, I think this is where your relationship needs to be right now. And whatever unfolds from here, we'll see. And whatever the cards reveal, maybe it helps provide some insight. We'll see. But I do feel like you should be providing this, hey, like all eyes on me right now. This is my time. This is what I need. And it's not just because, oh, the tables are turning and now it's your turn. I think it's more than that. You need this to be the best person, to be the most like enlightful person, to have the highest vibration possible, to be the best person you can be. And going back to that moral compass, to have the strongest moral compass, to, really live by the golden rule and like truly treat everyone the way you want to be treated, to like live that life and be that person, you have to be happy, and you can't be resentful or bitter or angry or feeling like you're constantly compromising. So yeah, I just see that this is something that is presenting itself for you, and we will find out a little bit more. But so I see here, and we have two other cards, the Six of Cups and, pardon me, oh my goodness, the Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands is a card of like, oh my God, what's the word I'm trying to say? Like acknowledgement, like celebrating someone, seeing someone, finally kind of having your moment in the spotlight. And I do think this is your moment in the spotlight. And the question is like, is it going to feel as good for you as you've always wanted it to feel? Is this moment going to live up to how you would have wanted it to be? And whether this is currently your moment in the spotlight, whether you've been here for a week or a month and it's still going, or if you can feel that this is about to happen, you are going to have this time, and this time, it doesn't have to be fleeting. This can be your year. This can be your decade, like whatever it is. This is something, though, you are definitely stepping into your time, your power. It really is about you. And it's about you really finding yourself, not just being rewarded and celebrating, but this is your time to do the things you've wanted to do. If anything's been put on pause, or if you've kind of pushed back against like a sense of, I'm supposed to do this, this is my fate, this is my destiny. If you've put that on hold, now is your time to be like, okay, I'm the star. I don't know, this is your magic, this is your time. And I'm really, really getting that. And the Six of Cups, I do think that you are very happy right now. And let's take the relationship piece out of it. I think that whatever is going on, things are starting to click for you in a way that you are feeling like it kind of a blissfulness. There is a joy accompanying you. And this joy might be irritating your partner because it might not have a whole lot to do with them. This is you stepping into your own. This is you celebrating yourself. This is you like reading a book in the sunshine and feeling like very, very happy about that moment. I just feel like this is very much about you and no one else. And I don't know your partner, and I'm not at all saying that they can't handle this or they don't like this. That's not, I'm not asking those questions, but there's a chance they're totally on board with it. There's a chance they completely support it. I'm just seeing exactly where you are right now. I'm not really getting too much into your partner, but I see your space. However, that said, I'm not getting this overwhelming message that your partner's totally on board or totally not on board with this. I'm just seeing that if anything, it's your time to shine, and it might rub someone else the wrong way, or it might take away from their spotlight. Maybe they've been the complete center of your universe, and it's about to shift. I will get more tarot, but I do want to see you in a card and your partner in a card. And I kind of want to see the near future for you guys in a card. And this is going to help determine, like, this might help you realize, like, okay, this is what I need to do to get there. Or anyway, let's just turn over for like the very, very near future. And this can be like tomorrow, later today, next week. But like, you're going to know this time frame. This is you and this is your partner. And let's see what we turn over and what's revealed here. So for you, we have joy and we have music. And for your partner, we have South and adventure. So the joy and music card, first and foremost, I see this as like you being very, very, very happy, like truly joyful. If whatever if whatever opportunity or exciting thing is coming your way has anything to do with like music or a creative outlet or a creative endeavor, or like, you know, sharing something in the way of like voice or like instrumental, or something to do with like vibrations, and like, I just feel like, anyway, at the very least, you're very, very, very happy. But there's a good chance that this does have something to do with you actually doing what is being presented to you. Then this option that's on the table for you, this direction that things are headed, I do see you doing that. So this tells me that the fate of this connection, I would say your fate at this point, if we take the connection out of it, I would say your fate tells me that you will be going towards this star. You'll be chasing your star. Your star is rising, and you are very much stepping into it. So great. For your partner, I see adventure and I see south. And the adventure piece is interesting, because this could be your partner maybe stepping away, taking a step back and doing their own thing and kind of exploring themselves. Maybe this is something you guys have talked about, like, and I hate to say take a break. I don't think breaks are negative. I really don't. If you're in a place in your life where you're about to take off and be so busy and so consumed, then honestly, I hate to say honestly, I don't know. What's a month or two? What's 6 months? What's a year? What's 2 weeks? Like, what is this time if it makes you so much better, so much happier, so much more interesting and engaged, like for both of you? Maybe you do take a time. Maybe your partner does this traveling trip, or this, I don't know, trip to South America, or this surf trip, or who knows, but whatever it is, you're doing your thing and you're very happy. So let's not forget that. I think first and foremost, you have reached a point in your life where you are ready to focus on you. You're ready to do you. And I do think there's this creative, exciting piece that you aren't willing to sacrifice anymore. This is you. And I see in this Four of Cups card that you know that this is something you need. You know you need this outlet. And if it's not totally creative, if this has something to do with work, maybe you're finally about to pass the bar and, you know, whatever. I wouldn't say that's wildly creative. It's brilliant and exciting, but still, this is the same thing. You are stepping into your light. You're using your voice. You're sharing this gift, and you are finally doing this entirely for and about you. Now, your partner, Adventure South, it's not a bad card. And I do feel like I do get this sense that there's going to be a little distance between you guys, but honestly, not in a bad way, not in a way that if you don't want to come back together again, you can't. But I think it might be an opportunity for your person to do a little of their own kind of journeying or exploring. I don't get anything on here about like, oh, you guys need to see other people, or there's this, you know, crazy heartbreak that's going to come your way. Like, there's nothing about that on here. It is just, you know, like little milestones we hit in our life where we achieve things and we do this. It's different for everyone. Some people have to take a step away and do it entirely on their own. Some people achieve more when they buddy up, or I don't know, but it's just, you're at this point right now where it is about you, and you will do whatever needs to be done, and you're happy. You're very, very happy. And you wouldn't be happy if your partner was suffering. You wouldn't be happy if you had a broken heart. Like, so none of those things are happening. So I just want to say that. And as far as your partner, they do look ever so slightly isolated in this card, but you know what? Maybe this is what they need. Maybe they need to take that step back. Maybe this is their time to like reevaluate and like really get some hard answers for themselves. I could see that somehow. And maybe this is something that like you've wanted them to do for themselves, and now it's like you're in a beautiful way killing two birds with one stone. So I think the fate of this connection is that you're finally going to get everything you ever wanted. You're going to be subliminally happy, and I think your partner is going to do some growing. And whether you stay together, break up, come back together, never get back together, that almost isn't relevant right now, because you're incredibly happy. So please know that. And I'm not leaning in any direction. I will say I do see a little bit of space being put between you, but I think that's fine, because this is going to take everything for whatever amount of time it is. It can be, again, a week, days, months, whatever it is. This is you doing you, and good for you. So I'm excited for you. I'm happy for you. I think you are very much at this like engaged place in your life, and like you're lit up, and I don't know, and I see this kind of like, there's something spiritual about this. There's this light, there's this extra thing going on in this card where when I say you're happy, I mean it. You're really happy. You're really tapped into something. Like there's a certain amount of growth here, just personal growth, and you're getting that through achievements and hard work, and that's great. But like spiritually and mentally, internally, you're achieving things that I don't think you necessarily achieved in this relationship in the past whatever amount of time. I think you've been stagnant, and you're finally like, there's another calling here. There's another piece to this that you finally get to explore. And it's something creative. It's something kind of spiritual. It's something that gives you that feeling of bliss. And I think it was always your path. It was always your direction. It was always the thing that was going to find you, or you were going to find it. So I'm just going to finish up with these little kind of quote cards. I always ask, when I pull these, I ask for input from Spirit, and I always say Spirit's a she. I believe Spirit is a she, but not that it matters, but I'm going to take this card, and this is just her input, and sometimes it tracks, sometimes it doesn't. So we will just kind of have fun with it, but you can think on it. Anyway, so this is it, wake up call. And I think this is a wake up call. I truly do, because I think it's something different. I think this is like your whole ground is kind of shifted. Something's really changed for you. And again, it is exciting. It's different. It's frightening. It's new. Your person feels it. They know that things are never going to go back to the way they were. And this is very much, it's a wake up call for you to be like, this is kind of your call. It's your call. You're being called towards something. There's this like gravitational pull. You are being pulled towards something. You couldn't undo this or not want to do it for anything. And I see that for you, and it's your happiness, it's your calling. But I do think for your person, this is also a bit of a wake up call for them, because I think that they are, they're seeing things differently. And I do think that they are going to have this, oh my God, if I don't want to lose this person moment, this is what I have to do. This is what I need to do. And I actually believe they will rise to this, but I'm just going to leave it on the note that in some ways it doesn't matter, because you're very happy no matter what. So whether that happiness is with you guys being together or not, best friends, speak very little. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I haven't asked, I don't know, but you're happy, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. So congratulations. There's something exciting coming your way, and that is your fate, and you're following it. So, okay, great. Fun reading. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever feels right. But please do join me again for another reading. Thank you. Goodbye. To my channel. This is Light and Bone Tarot, and I just want to thank you. Thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you. We are doing a reading for what is the fate of this connection. So we're going to find out, the fate of your connection. And this is agate, which I never knew it looked like this. I feel like this is one of my favorite cards in the whole deck. This deck is so beautiful. I don't know that anything looks like this in person, but it is truly stunning, agate. Okay, and I am pulling from this one deck, the Untamed Elemental. They have element cards, and so these cards are kind of helping me just guide or set the premise of the reading. And I picked lava for you. I didn't pick it. I grabbed a card, and let's say Spirit's hand was on this, and she selected lava as kind of the theme. And when I read about lava, it is definitely that inner fire. It's that passion. It's that drive, but it's also that like self-imploding kind of like, I am going to totally destroy to make something more beautiful. There is this sense of like creating massive destruction, but all in the greater good somehow. And as a result, lava does leave this path of like beauty and lushness, and there's always a beauty that follows after lava flow. Okay, anyway, maybe you know where I'm going with that, maybe not, maybe that didn't make any sense, but in my head it makes sense, and it will help me kind of understand what is the fate of this connection. So your connection, I first want to see it in 3 cards. So let's see, we have the Two of Swords, and it looks like there's, I don't know, or pardon me, Two of Wands. I will never get these cat cards right off the face, but yes. Two of Wands, here we go. We've got the Four of Cups and Page of Swords. These same exact three cards came up for the last reading. I don't ever show you me shuffling these cards, but wow, it certainly does happen. So I'm going to go with it because everything kind of has a different meaning per pile. So it's funny with, okay, so your Two of Wands here is this, okay, it's a choice. It is, but it's not just a choice. It's a very, there's something exciting about it. There is an excitement here. There's a change, there's a message, and there's you probably contemplating whether or not you want to actually go all in and do this. Very much, and this is somewhat similar to the last reading, but there is this feeling that you are, I get the feeling you're ready to leave this dynamic. If you're not ready to leave it, you're ready to see quite a few things change in your relationship. So you've either been in this relationship for a while and it is starting to feel like maybe it's wearing on you or it's not serving you and you just need these few things to change, or you are, or you're ready to leave. I get this feeling like this has been brewing for a while, almost like there's this sense of eruption, like you, and I don't feel like you can't take it anymore because this person is like toxic or not easy to be around. I think they're probably a lovely person. There's nothing about this that makes me feel like, oh, you're in this relationship that you have to leave because it's just killing you to be in it. I think if it's killing you, it's because you feel like there's just something more. There's something greater out there. There's almost like you have this, it's been welling up inside of you, and there truly is, there's more for you. And this more comes with more excitement, more passion. But yeah, I do feel as if there is a lack of passion in your dynamic. And this, I will say, it is probably physical. It's probably mental. I don't know that the inspiration, like you're just not inspired by this person. And I think they're probably very sweet and kind. It's just a feeling I'm getting. But I feel like you've kind of you've grown, you're ready to move on. And I think you are very, very ready. Okay, let me get, that's your dynamic. And I'm seeing this. I'm going to get what is the fate of your connection, and then we're going to get a little bit more to talk about this. But between the Lava card and even seeing this is something like, it's this almost like Ring of Fire-esque. I just think you're raring to go, and maybe you haven't always been. Maybe you're at a point where you've come into like, you feel healthier and more vibrant than you ever have. Maybe you feel more like beautiful and alive than you ever have. Who knows? Like something is kind of very positively changed for you, or there's been like maybe this slow like something that's transpired for you where you are now, you're just ready. You're ready. And it's not that your person's holding you back, but they're kind of holding you back. I don't think they're holding you back intentionally, but I just think you are ready. Like you're ready to either like travel the world or drop everything you're doing to, like, there's something just almost like you're ready for things to just kind of implode, like, but in a very good, exciting way, like all out new beginnings. Like I would expect to see the Tower card coming up or something just so like, oh my God, you're doing this. Okay, let's see what comes up. And I will say, what is the fate of this connection? And then we'll get into you, because with cards like this, it's not so much about your connection right now. It's about you. It's you. You're alive. You're probably, and you can feel it. You're feeling this electricity within you and it's your time. Okay, so let's see the fate of your connection. So we've got the Queen of Swords. We've got the Nine of Cups. Oh wow, and the Ten of Cups. So really, I mean, these are really three very beautiful cards. The Queen of Swords is someone who is, I feel like she's shrewd, she's sharp, she's she's no nonsense. Of all the queens, she is probably the coldest, but still cares. You know, she's not heartless. She's not cruel. She's just, you know, she's there to make the most sense. She's there to be probably the most analytical and the most like, maybe self-serving, but like not even, anyway, you are here to really, you're not here to make friends. You're not here to make enemies. You're not here to hurt anyone or win anyone over. I think right now you are just like, you're analyzing everything. Like, if I do this, how happy am I going to be? What's it mean for me down the road? What does my life look like? If I don't do this, how does it hurt me? Who am I benefiting by not doing this? What, like, because can you not do whatever it is that you want to do? Can you fight this? There is something truly, truly welling up in you. And I feel this with the lava, and I do feel this passion about it, because sometimes I read and I'm like, I know this because I've been here. I know this feeling where like, it's the same feeling of being like, I'm going to quit my job today. And maybe you're not a quitter. Maybe you've never quit a job in your life, but it's in you. And you probably won't quit your job today, and you probably shouldn't. But it's that genuine feeling where you're like, I could do it. I could just tell them right now, or, you know, give them 1 week's notice or whatever. But like, there's this part of you that is ready to let it all ride. Like, you don't even care. You're going to gamble. Like, you're going to take a gamble on something at this point. You want something to change. You want something to be shook up. And I will say that this feeling can be like, if you ignore it, it can turn into something very like risky, like that just instant gratification. Like, I don't know, like, let's put it all on black. Let's just like do something crazy because you need something to change in this shook up kind of exciting way. And I'm getting like this, like, I can hear it in my voice. I'm kind of excited for you because there's something exciting happening for you. And okay, so let's go into the cards that we actually turned over. And I see that, it's right here. We have the 9 of Cups and we have the 10 of Cups. These are beautiful cards. These are cards of like love, wealth, success, pure. These are very blissful, very happy cards. The 10 of Cups is like by the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. There's just this rainbow over this family, and there's like kids and a dog playing in the yard and this estate in the background. Like, it's a card of everything you ever wanted is happening. And ideally, I would see this, if you were in a relationship and you were happy, I would see this being like, yes, you get to have your cake and eat it too. You get to dramatically change the course of your life while keeping your loved one and making your life even better together. Sure, there's a possibility of that because we have the 10 of Cups here. My gut tells me that the fate of this relationship is you are going to take a step away and do exactly what you want to do. And I don't know that that means that you're not in a relationship. Actually, your partner seems like someone, and this is just a feeling, that would see you through this, that would stick with you through this, that would give you the time you needed, or I don't know. I just feel like they are actually here for you. And there is a chance that this 10 of Cups is you and your person like riding off into the sunset after you've been given the space and the freedom to kind of do your thing, whatever that is. I actually see that you have a person in your life that would, I almost want to say tolerate this, because there is an element of like, I will tolerate this from you, because it is selfish. Like, you're entering a selfish phase, but you know you have to do it for you. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think everyone goes through that at least once in their life, I would hope. But you know, if you do this every other month, it can be a bit much. But something tells me this hasn't happened for you for a while. This is kind of like a revelation that you are now like, okay, this is it. So the fate of your relationship, I don't know that I'm actually seeing you guys breaking up. I don't know. I just see a very kind and loving and calm and balanced person on the other end of this. So I'm going to get 2 cards. I have these like personality type cards, and it's going to be, and okay, so because lava to me implies like there's something, as we said, there's something building up. There is an action from you that is going to take place. Let's say you go with this feeling and you let it rise and you indulge this. I want to see you in a personality card, and I want to see your partner the person at the other end of this connection. So let's see what this looks like for both of you. And for you, we have richness, marine life, which doesn't necessarily have to do with water. Okay, that's interesting. And the person is the equator, which does make me think of water. So these cards can always be taken literally. It can always be like, I mean, maybe you want to buy a sailboat and travel around the world, and then these cards would be like uncanny as to how they speak to that. So if your connection has something to do with water or the equator or something marine life, then yes, those signs are 100% here for you. But I'm going to read them as less literally. However, if they speak to you literally, then please comment. I would love to hear it. But when I see marine life and richness, this is the card of all the secrets, all the unknown beauty and glory and abundance that lives under the surface of the water that we have no idea about. So this tells me that you doing you in this way is going to tap into something truly great, truly vast. This does give me the feeling of abundance. I mean, the Nine of Cups is definitely a card of like wealth and abundance and materialism. And it's a card of reaching it through your own like means and purposes and efforts. So I do see like whether it's success, I see you being very set. There isn't a want here. This is a card of like untapped potential and literally untapped abundance. And this richness, and I love the richness because maybe there is a material gain to be had by all this. Like maybe the root drive of this is like a new career path or a new way of life or something that would actually bring in riches. Or it doesn't have to be. It can be like just something wild and crazy and like just this free spirit kind of move that really has nothing to do with money, but then still brings you this vastness, this richness. Either way, this is definitely a card that makes me think you're on a journey. There's something exciting and you're going to discover things about yourself, about this world, about your life, about your connections, about your person. There's a lot in store for you. And it's a beautiful, vast, beautiful future. So yes, I see you. I mean, it's just a very positive card to tell me that you're almost like overstimulated, but not in a bad way, in a good way. You've been craving this overstimulation. You've been craving this like, just super, super dynamic existence. And this is what you're headed for. And your person, we have to make equal. We have the equator. And it is funny to me how these cards kind of are similar. I guess the water really is what makes them feel similar. And the equator, I don't know why I associate the equator with water, but it is to me this place of like, I don't know. Anyway, when I think of the equator, and to make equal, I almost feel like your partner in this connection that you're asking about is on this ride with you. And together, you guys, I just feel like this person would kind of join you anywhere and find their place and do it in a very happy, accommodating way. And I don't know, like your person, your partner, the fate of this connection, I don't necessarily know that I'm getting an over the top, like passionate vibe from you guys, but that's okay. This could be a business partner. It could be like, oh my goodness, it could be a sister. It could be a family member. It doesn't have to be like a romantic partner, but if it is or if it isn't, I really see it being someone that's along for this ride with you and someone that does find their place and maybe also helps balance you, helps keep you in balance. Maybe this crazy shakeup that you're about to embark on, perhaps you do need someone to kind of like help reel it in. Maybe a couple months from now, you're like, oh my goodness, I am not in over my head in a bad way, but like I can't recognize a single piece of my life as it was. Like I need someone to pull me in. I need that, like that touchstone. And I do feel like this connection, this person is somehow here with you on this. And they seem like someone that's, kind of like a water sign, whether they are or not, but I feel that like they're adaptable, right? Like they're empathetic. I think they're there for you. They're not necessarily a leader. Like they want to kind of follow, they want to be a part of you and your journey, but they're strong. Even if they're a little bit more quiet, they are absolutely strong. And they're someone I think that you actually really want around. whatever's welling up inside of you, I don't think it's to explode your relationship and say goodbye to this dynamic forever. I think it's just that you know you need to do this, and you will do it, and you should, and I'm excited for you, and this is great. But the question being, what is the fate of this connection? I think the fate is you guys find something new and exciting, and you find it together, and you find your places together. And if things were very ho-hum prior to this, I think your person in this reading is going to, whatever, if they have to level up to be more dynamic and more exciting, if they have to, like, you know, be the person that drops you into the shark cage, like, they're fine with that. They will go from being someone who sat on the couch and read a book half the day to, like, traveling the world with you. I think they're up for anything, and I think they have a lot to offer. I think they're very smart. I think they're a lot more quiet and more potentially, you have a fire and you have a dynamicism to you, and you do have I think you are emotional. I think you have I think you feel a lot of emotions, but although your person I think they might be a little more balanced, they're still emotional. They have input, they have thoughts, they have a lot, and there's a lot of depth there, and maybe you'll even get to see a lot more of them in a way that really, really appeals to you. But I think you guys have something. So yeah, I see something exciting for you, and I see that your connection can absolutely sustain this. And if this isn't a romantic connection, that totally makes sense to me. I am seeing this as being one way or the other, but whatever it is, it's someone you want and need in your life, I believe. That's what I'm seeing. So this all feels very good and very special. And I'm doing, pardon me, I'm about to wrap this up, but I'm getting these quote cards, and this is, I asked for like input from spirit in a quote card, and she is funny with her input sometimes, but let's see what she has to say about this. So this is spirit, we're asking you for some input here. So ask with sincerity. I feel like these quote cards are really just for you to kind of think on and to take with you, but maybe you do have to kind of sweet talk this person a little bit. Maybe you have to let them know that you do appreciate them more than you've shown, and that this whole transformation of yours isn't about them not being wonderful and amazing and not giving you everything you need, but you just need to do this for you. And I think really, if you want them along on this journey and this adventure, I think they'll do it, and you do. You have to ask with sincerity. And I just think that is a message to take with you when this topic gets broached and when you have to have this conversation. Keep this card in mind. Or could speak to another thing pertaining to this ordeal somehow, and by ordeal, I mean really exciting, amazing thing on the horizon for you. So adventure on the horizon for you. So this is your reading, and I think we've hit everything here to kind of give you a decent idea of what is the fate of this connection, and really kind of what is your fate in a way right now. And this is what I see for you. Okay, if you have any comments or like, subscribe, whatever feels right, I'd be very grateful for it, and I hope to see you again. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Thank you so much for being here and listening to my channel. This is Light and Bone Tarot, and we are doing a reading for what is the fate of this connection. So you picked pile number 3, and your card is Sodalite. It's this just blue kind of dynamic crystallized form, and I feel like there's a lot going on in Sodalite in this picture. Very beautiful. Also, so I've started picking these oracle cards to like set the tone for some of my readings, and I picked from, it's called the Untamed Elemental deck, and Mountain was your card. And Mountain is basically it's like this pillar of like strength. It's a foundation, it's a growth, it's, you know, like your feet are grounded and your head's in the clouds. There's a little bit of there's a spiritual piece to Mountain. And there's just kind of this like standing tall, standing your ground, but acknowledging this, I don't know, this growth, this evolution. So anyway, we're going to come back to Mountain because I have a bunch of words that I'm not doing a very good job of expressing, but I have in my head what mountain could kind of mean and how it could set the tone. So we'll come back to that. But yeah, when I look at mountain and it's an earth card, yeah, anyway, okay. Let me in 3 cards. I want to see you right now in 3 cards, where you're at and this kind of your connection. Like what are we looking at for you and your connection? So we've got Ace of Swords, Page of Pentacles. These are cat cards. Page of Pentacles and Strength. Okay, so I'm glad we had a major card to like offset these 2 court cards, or pardon me, 1 court card and an ace. Okay, one moment here. So okay. There is, and it is funny because when I do think of mountain, I do think of this like just massively strong, intact thing. But there's this dynamicism to it of like, you know, the bottom's connected to the earth and then the top kind of like, you know, expands into the atmosphere and the cosmos or whatever. It's a place where people, and then historically speaking, you know, tribes and communities would go to mountaintops to kind of not only gain a new vantage point, like physically, but like mentally. Like there was that aspect, you kind of saw things from a whole different perspective and you were that much closer to God and to everything. And when I see the Strength card, I don't know, you've been through something, as we all have, but something has made you, I don't know. Okay, so I'm sorry. This isn't the most clear-cut thing, and I am taking a little bit more time than usual getting into this. But I think you're like evolving somehow, and it could be that you're on this spiritual kind of trajectory. And by spiritual, that doesn't mean it could be religious. It could be like more metaphysical. It could be totally out there woo-woo. It could be a book you picked up about like alchemy and now you're just like completely into that whole, I don't know what it is, but it tells me that your mindset, let's say when you enter this connection, something's really changed in you. And I think you've put time behind this. So either you are studying, whatever this change is, you've put effort behind it. You've put time reading, you've put energy into this change. And I have to get more cards because I can't. But with the Ace of Swords, this is thought to me. This is like direction of thought. This is a very intentional path that you're like slowly ascending. You are climbing up. You're trying to reach something. You're not necessarily there yet, but you are striving for this. And I'm going to say like something like this could be like overcoming an addiction. Maybe this has been like a long course for you and you're like finally getting to a point where you like see things more clearly. You're living your life cleaner and differently, and you're like reaching new heights. You know, that's not like I'm not trying to have fun with words with mountain, but I do feel like you are really kind of like literally and like figuratively reaching new heights in your life. And I don't know that your partner is, I don't know if they're reaching these heights with you. I don't know if they're holding you back. I don't know if they're part of what's helping you. And it's funny because this is the 3rd reading, and I feel like there is this sense of like, you need to do you. You need to find you right now. You need to, I'm not sure, but there is something to tell me that you have been on this very kind of aggressive growth trajectory. And this is your path right now. And I do think you've shared this with your partner, with the person that you're inquiring about. They've heard you. And maybe you've even tried pretty hard to convince them of it in one way or another, to get them on board, to have them partake, to have them like get excited or interested in it. And maybe they are, maybe they're not. But I don't think this is something you've done like completely like in a vacuum. I think you have engaged with others, and it's not like a secret. It's not something totally unexpected. anyway, so you're on a path, and you're on a very clear path. Okay, I want to see you in 3 cards right now, because there's something I just need more information. Okay, Page of Wands, 9 of Cups, and the World. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back. The Page of Pentacles, not the Page of Wands, but to me, the Page of Pentacles is someone who is like, it's kind of like a card to represent a scholar. It's someone who's very intentional, very wants to learn. It just wants to do everything right. Just that kind of goody. It's just that card of intentionally setting out to learn something, to master it, the beginnings of being a student in whatever part of life you're in. You are studying something and applying yourself. And the Page of Wands is much more creative. It's much more that doing now. Like, you are going to actively be pursuing that thing that got you so lit up and excited. You're going to start this kind of journey. And with that, you might get this, this kind of like message, or this intuition, like there's something coming your way that's going to just really kick this off. Okay, 9 of Cups, love this card. It's a card of like independent wealth and success, abundance. It's just a card to tell me, like, from a materialistic standpoint, you're doing fine. Things are going to be very good for you. You're not going to have to live out of I don't even know what, a car or something. Like, you're going to be fine. Because there is a change. There's something, but there's like a calling. I feel like you're being called to something you almost can't fight. Okay, anyway, and the World is also an exciting card to say, like, you kind of can have your cake and eat it too right now. I think this is a point for you where everything is kind of coming full circle. We're going to see this completion for you. And things are going to click. And by completion, I almost feel like one chapter is ending and another one's opening. So it's almost like it's the beginning. Like, you're going to put, you're going to end one part of this thing that you're working towards and completely jump in and start another. And I know that is horribly vague. This reading feels very, very vague. I'm trying to think about what this is that is so important to you, because I'm getting this heavy level of importance. There's a weight here that this isn't an idea you had yesterday, or something that someone told you about and you're like, yeah, that sounds cool, I want to do that. This is like in you. This is a part of you. This is like a part of your whole structure and foundation. So it's either like you're returning to some calling or some piece of you that was like maybe ingrained in you in childhood, some belief, I don't know, like, but it's good. It's you. It's, okay, I don't know. Oh my goodness. What is the fate? Excuse me, hold on. What is the fate of this connection? Because there's another piece of this. There's someone in this for you. I can't get that. I can't see that right now. I will say, I hear myself in this reading. Trust me, I do. And some readings are hard. Sometimes there's this muffled quality to it where I can't pinpoint really from the cards exactly what I'm seeing. And I don't know if that means that you're so confused that there's no answer yet, or that spirit really can't quite figure out where this is going. I don't think it's bad at all. It's not bad. It's just like maybe this question for you, for whatever reason, isn't ready to be answered. Maybe you're still at this stage where like a lot has to be figured out. But I do see this course for you, this path that you're going down, but it's big and it's strong and it's like a force in your life. And I do, connected to this, there is this spiritual piece. There's this growth. There's this evolution that's coming with you. But I need to get your connection on this, because this is why we're here, and I haven't really addressed this piece yet. Okay, so let me see your connection in 3 cards. So we've got the Fool, we've got the King of Wands, and we have the Four of Cups, which has come up in every single reading. Okay. And maybe I will say this, maybe it's because this connection for most of the people watching this, maybe it isn't a relationship. Maybe it's, and I'm trying so hard to see this like romantic piece and I can't. I don't see a romantic piece connected to this. So this could be a connection that is not actually romantic. And maybe that's why I'm trying so hard to see that aspect of it. It's almost like this is someone you want to protect. I guess maybe that just clicked for me if anyone is still watching this. There's a part of you that really wants almost to protect the person you care about. And it's like you want to protect them with this new way of doing things, or like leading by example in a way of showing them like, look, I want to start leading this kind of life. I want to start doing this. I want to stop doing this and fully start doing this. But there is this sense of like kind of ushering someone and showing them a certain thing that maybe, or way of life or ritual or practice that you are now like embodying. Again, the fate of this connection, I think they're here for it. I actually think, and I see this with the Fool, the King of Wands, and then we've got the Four of Cups. I don't think they're like completely and totally all in. I think this person needs a little like work, a little love, a little nurturing, a little caring for, a little more hand-holding. But I do think that I think they're dynamic. I think they are adventurous. And I think they look up to you. I actually think at the end of the day, if this is something you really want for them, that they will follow, they will be on board. It's not going to be overnight, and they're going to have to make it their own adventure as well. So it's going to have to appeal to them. It's going to have to make them feel like it's not totally your journey they're on, but they're in for it. Why is this so strange? I don't know. But yes, I feel like this is almost like a mother-daughter connection or something along those lines, where you really want to care for someone. You're caring for someone. And if this is romantic, then it would have to me, this would speak to some element of that dynamic that you guys have, where you're in a romantic relationship. I mean, you're in a like physical maybe, or just, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to get some personality cards, and maybe this will help, because I want to see this better, and I want to help you, and I want to answer what is the fate of this connection. And I actually think the fate of this connection is that you're here to help this person. And maybe that's it. Like, instead of, for me, asking the question of like, where is this going? Are you guys going to be together? And like, that doesn't really hold relevance here. I think the fate of this connection is like, you're somehow here to help this person, to show them something, to like impart this certain bit of knowledge and possibly restraint and kind of like direction on them. That's what I'm getting. It's just this like, and you are to be this kind of pillar of strength and guidance. You're to be like the person that they like quite literally look up to. And I guess that's it. Like, most of my readings, I go into them when I think of a connection as being something that would, denote there's a couple. But I'm just not getting that here. Anyway, I want to see you, and I want to see whoever it is. Like, so I'm just going to call them your person, but it can be anything. And I really don't get the feeling that it is something romantic. So, and I want to say, like, this is you kind of once, I'm going to sneeze, so I'm talking funny. No, I'm not going to sneeze. This is you. I'm going to turn this card. Once you really, like, let's say with the world, like, okay, phase 2. Phase 1 has already been here, or maybe phase 1, 2, and 3 has already been here, but like there's this now, this official, like, okay, and go, like, and we're doing this. Something official is about to happen. And that's what I'm getting with the World card. So I'm going to turn over personality card for you once this like phase drops and boom, you're going live with this. And then also this person that you really, really care about. And I think you're helping and I think you're inspiring and I want to see them as well. And maybe that'll help you like kind of see the fate of this connection. Cause I do see beauty here and I do see caring. And I just see a lot of care and love going into this. And it's something, and I feel like you can like take care of this person in a way also from a, materialistic standpoint, like you can help provide for them and care for them. So, okay, let's see you. We've got rock, endurance, and then they are, magnetism and attraction. So, okay, for you, I really do think you're this person's rock. I do think that you are the very solid nature that kind of keeps them grounded or together or sane or happy. It's almost like there's this piece of like, could this be like a foster child or a troubled something or other, or just someone who truly needs you and to looks for you for this guidance. You are providing some kind of guidance and direction and hope. And I actually think that's the nature of this connection. Like if you were wondering if you really are this for that person, then yes, I really think you are. And I think you offer tremendous insight and guidance and just stability. Like there's just this very stable aspect to this. And like with that upward, like you're not just something stable in their life, which is saying a lot. That's almost enough right there. But you also provide like insight and hope and room for like growth and advancement and just, you know, like a mountain, like you climb up a mountain, you're moving up and up and up and up and it's just more. And, yeah, you're giving this person more and your person. And it's funny because I see a child on the bed. So I don't know if you're helping someone through like turmoil and you're kind of like helping soothe their inner child. I don't know if we're actually talking about a child, but I do feel like you are helping to guide and just nourish in some capacity someone who really, it's like you're helping someone's inner child. And I can't, maybe that's why that was so hard for me, because that I feel like is a pretty advanced reading. I don't have any readings that have started like how to heal your inner child. Like those are, to me, those feel pretty advanced and I couldn't quite place it in the beginning, but there's something here to tell me that whatever you've learned through your own path, your own journey, you are now applying it towards helping someone else. And it is a very, very positive, like this is all very positive, but it's advanced and it's real. And it is something that you deeply care about and you've put thought and structure and you've educated yourself on it. Like you're very much here for it. And your person is, I don't know, there's just this healing thing. It's like you're kind of their light right now and they're very much attracted to you in this way. They are being pulled into you. They want to learn from you. They want this. And, it might look different for them. They might not want it in exactly the way that you're sharing it or have lived it, but they definitely look up to you. And, there's an attraction there. And again, that attraction, I don't see it as being something that you would have like between a couple who either was romantic at one time or whatever. Like it's not, to me, it's not that kind of vibe. It's not that kind of energy, but it is very positive and it is someone who is seeking you out for kind of like a confidence, a stability, direction, all of that. So I don't know. I mean, again, if you're still here, thank you. And I would love your comments on, having made it this far, what this reading is giving to you or providing you with. But I really hope it speaks to you. And one more card we're going to turn over. These are my like quote cards. And these are quotes from Spirit. This is her input in a few words. And it's sometimes quirky and off color, but it's okay. We're gonna go with it, and we're gonna see how this speaks to you. So she is saying, live life to the fullest. And I don't know, this is her little bit of like wisdom that she is giving to you. And I believe you have lived life to the fullest. And something tells me that this cycle that you're going on and you're sharing is probably a result of you living a very full life, whatever that means. I think you have maybe indulged yourself, overindulged at times. You've definitely lived a full and rich life, and you have obviously a lot to share, a lot of experiences, a lot of stories. And I do think that like your message probably isn't to like, I don't know, there's a part of you that is very alive and full of life, and I'm just going to leave you with these words, and you're going to think on this however you want or apply it however you want. But yes, Spirit is telling you live life to the fullest, and I think you have, and you do. And yeah, please, if you have anything to say about this, I would love to hear it. But I hope you're happy, and your person that you're inquiring about, that the fate of this connection is very much like strong and intact and positive. And I see this kind of like teacher-pupil dynamic here, and I think it's very special. There's something very, very special about this. It was hard to place in the beginning, but it's very special. So I want to say thank you to you, because I think you're really helping someone. So thank you for that, and for being here, and for letting me read for you, and for sticking this out for 22 minutes and 10 seconds. Thank you. Okay, I hope to see you again. Goodbye. Tarot. Thank you so much for visiting my channel, for letting me read for you, for being here. Means everything. And we are doing a reading for what is the fate of this connection. So this is card number 4, and this is called, I'm not familiar with it. It's Vanadinite or Vanadinite. But it's like, I want to touch it. Like you could almost just like break these little crystal clusters off. They're just very, I don't know, it's delicate and beautiful, and kind of sturdy looking all at once. So that's your pile. That's why you're here. And I went ahead and picked an oracle card to kind of set the tone of the reading. And I picked it from it's called the Untamed Elemental, and we got Cloud. And Cloud, basically in a word, according to this deck, is it's an air card, and it's ritual is like the word given to it and the meaning. And I guess they picked ritual. There's some description, but I think because in general, like, we have a certain, like a limited number of cloud types, right? They didn't list all of them, and I'm not going to attempt to, but in other words, I think clouds these water droplets tend to fall into patterns, and they kind of ritualistically form similar structures. And I just think there's something to that that's going to set this reading off. And I know you didn't come here for a third grader's description. Actually, a third grader would do a better job describing what clouds do. They probably are literally studying them in third grade. Okay, let me move off of clouds and get into what is the fate of this connection. So I want to see you and your connection, your dynamic in 3 cards, and we're going to start there. So I have the Knight of Pentacles. I have the Emperor, and I have the World. So there's a lot of strength here. There's something very commanding about this. There's something very like almost kingly. And the Emperor, I guess the Emperor does make me think that. The World is a card of things coming full circle, but almost like not by accident. Like you have been busy. You've been working. This dynamic, this connection. I feel like the two of you, I don't know, there's a no nonsense vibe here. And I get the sense that as a couple, in whatever this connection is, I'm not going to narrow it to a romantic connection just yet, although I get the feeling it probably is. But this dynamic between the two of you is very much, there's a goal here, and there's something, I feel like the element of fun has kind of been missing from this. And if you're here asking about the fate, it's probably because you guys have been working so hard at something or being so focused on something that if it is romantic, that romance piece has been missing. And now I feel like this almost feels like a transactional or more like a business arrangement or agreement. And when I see a cloud, I do think of that, like that beautiful structure, that delicate structure. You've gone, like, you need to pick a new structure, be a new kind of cloud, whatever you guys have fallen into, whatever ritual or routine. It's not necessarily working. It might be working from a monetary standpoint very well, but I don't know from like a romantic connective standpoint if things are clicking for you guys in exactly the way you want them to. And I do think you need a little more like life in just this fun, free-flowing, kind of spacey way. Things probably feel very structured, very almost like the walls are kind of closing in on you guys. Like things are just, I don't see spontaneity. I don't see real excitement. And if there are excitements, they're more like in the sense of accomplishments. Yeah, I want to see you guys actually enjoying yourselves. And okay, let's see you guys with less structure. I want to see your guys' relationship in 3 cards. Again, I want some more input here. These court cards have been coming up so much, and I love and hate them at the same time. But Knight of Swords is really the polar opposite of the Knight of Pentacles. So this is interesting, and we'll have to figure it out. The Knight of Pentacles is like steady and determined, but with a very like ethical and slow and like intentional approach. It is not someone who's hasty. Whereas the Knight of Swords is all haste, all excitement, like wants the fight, wants to go in and just like rebel rouse. And okay, so if we're getting your dynamic here, and it's a little contradictory to what we have above, we have the 7 of Cups, which is kind of like things not appearing. Maybe you're not getting the outcome you'd hope for. Maybe things seemed too good to be true. Okay, and then we've got the 2 of Swords. Okay. I'm going to say, this is funny. This is, I think you guys are actually talking. I really do in this connection. I think you're starting to talk about like, okay, what happens once we either like check all the boxes and we're done with all this like hardcore determination that this path of achieving things and working towards something. My dog's walking around. Or I think you're starting to talk about like what it would look like if we actually had just a little bit more fun. What would those, like, what is our decision? What are we going to do here? Like, do we leave behind some of this hard work and the earning potential and actually enjoy ourselves? That leaves us with less money. Or do we like continue working hard and killing ourselves for the next like 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, and then we, you know, party all through Europe for the rest of our lives? Like, what are we doing? But I do think you're starting to really, really weigh options. And again, this is like new ways that you guys are going to work together. This is like new patterns, new rituals. You're really looking to form, to kind of like cash in on all the things you've been doing, but to create a new ritual for yourself. And you're weighing your options. You guys are both probably very, I think both of you guys are like logical, balanced, analytical, type A. I don't know that you guys are these like, you might be very creative, you might be, but I'm not seeing this like crazy passion coming off you guys in the sense of like, you're not the people that are gonna, you know, live in tents on the beach 1 week and then scrimp and save the next. Like, I feel like you're very consistent and you know what works, you know what doesn't work, you know how to achieve the things, to get the things you want, how to work hard, how to remain consistent. And you're just now starting to talk about like, what if we switch this up a little bit? Or yeah, what would that look like? Would it be too good to be true? Can we have everything we want? I just feel like you guys are looking for new patterns. You're looking for a new way to exist. And I will say the fate of your connection to me is actually quite exciting because I do think you guys are very similar. I do not think this is like an opposites attract dynamic. I think you guys are cut from the same cloth. You're wired the same way. You want the same things and you know how to get what you want. I think you're both very just smart and determined and analytical and capable. And I kind of feel like there's this new phase, and it's exciting. I see excitement for you guys. There's something very exciting happening here. It's welling up and it's brewing and it's about to change direction, change course, change shape, everything, much like a cloud. And but there's something very sweet about this too. So just to say, like, what is the fate of this connection? I think the fate is it's not really going to look like how it looks right now. It'll still function the same in a lot of ways. I think you guys are a high functioning unit. I think you work very, very well together. I don't think that's going to change, but I do see this kind of new shape and new direction and new focus, new everything, but in a very good way. However, you don't fear not, because you aren't going to be, neither one of you are going to be hasty about this. This Knight of Swords cards kind of tells me like, you're talking about things, you're actively like maybe even sampling or trying aspects of these things on for size or taste, but you're not rushing into anything and you're weighing all the options. You are very much aware of the fact that things that look too good to be true can be, and that here's the reality if we do this, and if everything's, you know, the sweet isn't so sweet without the sour, like all these things. You guys are, I don't know, you're just a very like in tune, balanced couple, and I really like you guys, but there's also something fun about you. You are not boring. You guys are just, it's like kind of the relationship I want. Like, it's not the relationship I want right out the gates, but if I were to be in a relationship, this would be the dynamic I would want in a couple years, because it's the kind of relationship where you can take it anywhere and you work together to make it that this can go anywhere kind of dynamic. So I'm excited for you guys and to see where this goes. But I want to see in 2 personality cards what your kind of very near and very exciting and somewhat very different future looks like for each one of you. And I see you guys staying together, and I see this connection only growing stronger. So I'm going to take it from that perspective of here you guys are together embarking on this exciting change, and here's what it looks like. So we've got ice and purity. This is you, and this is your partner. South, adventure. So I would say the purity and the ice is, it's not a very exciting card. There's definitely a stillness here. But this is, let's try to tie in this cloud thing. Like I guess the cloud consists of little water droplets and ice particles or crystals. I do think this is you leaning into that change. I really do. And there's this simplicity that's going to go along with it. I feel like when you guys do things, there is not chaos. Your world does not contain chaos. And if it does, you find a way to work through it and almost stifle it in a way, like it doesn't have, there's nothing that has to be chaotic for you guys. You can find answers and solutions. And I see this for you guys. This isn't, this future, this change, this excitement, whatever it is, it's not chaotic. It's very pure and simple. It is exactly, it's a new formation. It might look different. It might look still. It might look quiet, but this also works for you because it is very, very, it is beautiful, and it is, it's relaxing. So I don't know if you are a little stressed right now. If you don't, you have this like unknown question of what's on the horizon. Where is this all going? But, I don't know. There's a purity there. And I do see ice. And again, I don't know if you're moving to a place where maybe you're moving to the mountains. Maybe like snow and ice is a part of this whole equation for you in a very like literal sense. I'm not sure, but this card does come with like a quality of stillness and just purity. So let's just leave on that note, because that is a very pure and happy thing. And then for your person that you're asking about, this is the other part of this connection, adventure and south. And I would like to think that both of you guys can embody these cards. This is something you're doing together as a unit. And so if your partner is, enveloped in this adventure, and this is south, which doesn't really make me think of ice. However, it's not to say there isn't cold weather down south. You just have to go far to get it. But either way, there is this excitement, I do believe, truly coming your way. And these cards kind of have this extreme polar opposite quality, which I can't quite explain, because I see you guys doing something together and working towards and through this together. But that's the only thing I can say is like, this is both of you. You guys are both reaching this stillness and this happiness, and yet this very much this sense of adventure, which is really truly what I saw in the cards for you. But again, nothing is being nothing's being rushed, nothing is being hasty. You really know what you're doing, and you're doing things right. That is something else about you guys. You do things right. You don't do anything that affects anyone else negatively, including yourself. So you're not going to put yourselves in a position where you are left without the resources you want or need, or where you are, stranded, or like, just like an emperor, like a very balanced emperor. You are together as a unit, functioning, very high functioning. And there's something unknown but exciting, and I like bringing it back to the cloud, because the cloud to me there is a consistency there. You guys are ritualistic. You've gotten where you are. You function as a couple because you have a lot of rituals that are kind of like entrenched in your relationship, in your dynamic. And they could be you can start with a very simple, like, daily or morning ritual. But it is definitely going somewhere for you guys. And there's new rituals that'll be happening, and you will find them very appealing and very exciting and very real. And this is your new sense of adventure. And I am going to get, this is going kind of quickly for you guys, but let me see here. What card was I going to get next? Well, I do a quote card from Spirit, which I really do enjoy, but I'm going to get a couple more. I'm going to get 2 more tarot cards to just kind of like, I want to see your guys' connection, because there's something quirky and fun about you guys. Although fun isn't the word I would lead with, I think analytical, intentional, balanced, calculating, and in very good, positive ways are the words I would lead with your guys' relationship. But there is something quirky and fun about you. And I just want to kind of see your dynamic in 2 cards, because there's something very cool about this connection. So we've got the Star, and we've got the 3 of Cups. And the 3 of Cups, this makes me think of like a friendship. You guys really you're friends. You get each other. You genuinely enjoy each other's company. I think you have a network around you. You have a network of friends. You have people who also like really want to be around you guys. You're kind, you're loving, you're warm, you're friendly, you're good people. And you strike a very beautiful balance. So yes, I'm happy for you guys as a couple. I would love to be friends with you guys. People love being friends with you. You're just, there's something very beautiful about this connection, truly. And the Star, this is like, the Star is kind of, it's a beautiful card. It's spiritual. There's this kind of, there's just this spiritual component to it. This part of you guys there's like this piece of you guys as a couple that you can get what you want. You can achieve things together. You're kind of this like, people almost aspire to do what you guys do, to function the way you guys function. There's just this very like almost wholesome goodness to you guys, but also this high achieving piece as well. And I don't know, I just see goodness from you guys. I think you have a lot of respect for each other. I think you work very hard to kind of treat each other right, to do the right thing, and to make each other happy. I think you guys are both there to sacrifice one of your needs for the other. And I think this pays off because you ritualistically kind of do this. You take turns helping the other. I don't know. There's just something very, very good and beautiful. And then to see that you are going to be going into this other step, this exciting new phase is really lovely to see. So I can really just say I'm excited for you, and I'm going to get a kind of quote card from Spirit. This is input from Spirit on this connection, on what is the fate of this connection, on what it is you guys are doing, where you're headed. This is her Spirit. This is her words for you, whether she is male, female, both, a ball of energy. I always just say her, but this is Spirit's input and just a little bit of fun guidance, I believe. And she says, count your blessings. And what exactly this means, I don't know. There's a picture of Paris in the background, and how the Eiffel Tower really corresponds with count your blessings, I'm not sure, but it's this sense of like there are these like 2 couples almost dancing here by the Eiffel Tower. And I do get this sense of like, you guys have a lot of love between you, and don't ever forget how grateful you are to have this. And everything I kind of said that spoke to you guys as a couple, I really think it's kind of, this is the card to say like, yes, you guys are very, very fortunate and lucky. And I think you can achieve anything as long as you are together and you're in this together. And I don't know, it's just, to me, this is a card to really remind you guys of just how lucky you are and how fortunate you are to have the things you have and to have each other and to work together in this beautiful way that you guys do, and to create these patterns and these movements and this kind of, I don't know, just this, there's something, I really want to keep using the word beautiful, and there's something very pure and beautiful about you guys. And the fate of this connection is just, it's all good. And there's a new direction that you guys are going to work through and goal towards and accomplish and do, and good for you. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it felt like it tracked and that it is an exciting place for you guys to go to together. So I would love your comments or your feedback, but yeah, I'm just very happy I was able to read for you. So thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you again. Goodbye.